and today I'm going to be showing you how to use crystal and transparent relief paste, how to pop it through a stencil and how to add other mediums to it as well. So first of all, for the purpose of this video I'm just going to be using a plain piece of paper, but I've taken one of our Imagination Craft stencils and all I'm going to do is take the Cadence Stencil Spray. So this is a repositional spray. It can go onto any surfaces and it can be moulded around different surfaces as well. So all I'm going to do is give it a little shake, a light mist onto the back, and then making sure we stick it onto a flat surface. Pop it down, like so. Okay, so first I'm going to be going in with the transparent relief paste. So this gives like a sort of PVA glue texture sort of feel. It can be used as a glue as well, and it's got a really high shine to it. So this is one of the ways that we can use it. So I'm just going to pop the lid off, and using a palette knife, I'm going to take a little bit out, pop it onto my glass mat, and we're just going to scrape it through. And now with this, I want to cover it all. So a bit like butter and toast, just making sure we've got a flat surface and wipe it down. So we want to keep going until all the stencil is covered. And then when I've finished, I just like to make sure that we've got no excess on there. So I'm going to scrape it down and take it all off, just making sure that I haven't missed any pieces as well. Scrape it down, and then we'll just scrape that and pop it back in the pot, what we don't need. So next I'm going to add the crystal relief paste. So it's exactly the same, however it's got the crystal particles in it. So this is going to add texture. You can let this dry and then build it up. I just want to take a little bit through the stencil because I'm going to be adding texture to the stencil. You can hear all the crystals that are getting stuck onto the stencil. So this is really going to add a lot of texture. So some places I want more texture than others, but then in other places I just want the flat paste that we've just already applied. There we go. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy I've got an even layer of texture and flat there. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some of the Cadence Hybrid Acrylic. I'm going to pop a little bit onto my glass mat, and I'm going to mix it with the Cadence Extender. So the extender is like a water consistency, and it will not dull down the intensity of the colour of the paint, but it will make the paint last longer. So we're still going to keep that intense colour. However, we're going to get more of a runnier consistency, which I like to paint with more. So you've got a little bit more work time with your paint, so you just need a few drops. I'm going to take a paintbrush and just mix it all together. And then we're just going to start by brushing it through. You can see, even though we have diluted it down, we have still got that intense colour. And we're just going to keep going until all the stencil is covered. Now I want it to look a bit patchy. I'm going to be adding a darker colour in a second as well, so I want them all to mix together so we've got different hues of blues. You can see as well, as I lightly brush it over, the paint's just catching the top of the crystals that have all risen to the top of the stencil. Lovely, I'm quite happy with the even coverage on that. I know it looks a bit of a mess at the minute, but when we pull the stencil off, it's going to give a lovely crisp, clean edge when all the colours are mixed together. So I'm just going to take a little bit out of the mixed media spray. And then you can change brush or use the same one. I'm just going to brush it through. So this can be really patchy because, like I say, It's going to give more texture and it's going to pull off and look crisp as well. So I'm not being too fussy on about whereabouts I'm applying the paint. And I'm just going over the top of the other colour. Lovely, so when you're happy that you've got an even colour, now you can keep going with the colour blend, you can use different colours that marry together nice, but I just wanted to use blue on this one today. So we're going to pull off the stencil. As you can see, all the crystals with the texture of the different paint as well is really risen. If you can see, we've got a lovely 3D effect to that. So then when that's dry, there's one I've done earlier. So you can feel on here, we've got a lovely rough texture to that, and we can keep building layers up with this. So you can put one layer down, let it dry, keep building it up until you're happy that you've got a really intense texture. And then what I like to do is I'm going to take the Cadence finger wax, take a little bit out on your ring finger, because this is the finger that applies least pressure when you're applying your waxes. So the Dora waxes have a lovely pearlescent finish, so we're going to get a lovely shine and accent to our work. And then lightly, just where the crystals are going to catch, we can brush over. And I don't mind that it's going to catch the surface underneath, because that's what's going to add a little bit more depth and dimension to it. I just want to highlight some of the crystals on here, so when they catch the light, we've got a little bit more interest to look at. So this is just highlighting some more texture of the crystals. So you can keep going with that. You could even put that through on the previous stage on your through your stencil. And that's how you use the crystal and transparent relief paste.